welcome to or welcome back to Amanda Sora Art. My name's Amanda and I like dinosaurs and art. Today I'm doing another Reflect and Create piece. This one is based on a devotional that my pastor has been doing for our church for the past few weeks. The devotional series is Loving Truth, and I just started listening to it recently. I wasn't keeping up as they were coming out, but this one is inspired by Psalms 119, and this piece is actually inspired by two verses within Psalm 119. So Psalm 119, 105 is, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." And the other verse that this is inspired by is Psalm 119, 130. Words are hard. "The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple." And so both of those verses inspired the inside of the lanterns drawings. I even doodled it out in my journal, so that way I remembered what I had in my head as I was reading those scriptures and listening to the message that was being given. And some of the key points I wrote down in my journal that I really liked from the message is in verse 97, so I'm going to go to verse 97, 119, 197, lots of numbers. "Oh, how I love your law, I meditate on it all day long." So much devotion to the Word of God that he thinks about it throughout the day. Studies, reflects, meditates on its truth to understand and apply those truths to his life. When you love something, you spend time with it. And so that's very, very important to me as I do the Reflect and Create series, because that is what I think Reflect and Create should be. It should be us studying the Word of God, listening to music, praising God, all these wonderful things for God, and then we can create from that. We reflect on it and then we create from it. And that's why I thought it was really cool that I actually got inspired by this devotional to create this. I thought it was so cool that happened. Talking more about the art itself, with this piece, I did it like I normally do my art. I start off with my red layer sketch, then I do my blue layer sketch to refine things more, and then I go in with my black layer sketch, and that's usually my final sketch. With this piece, it took a very, very, very long time to do the outside lantern, like a long time to do that outside lantern. So I wanted to have that be a shorter part of the video instead of having it take up like 10 minutes of time just in the fast forwarding of it. So that's why that part was really quick. It took forever. It took so long to get everything perfectly mapped out. And once I finally got it somewhat how I wanted it to look, I only did half of it so I could mirror it perfectly and have it be a perfectly symmetrical piece. In the inside, I didn't care if it was symmetrical or not. It was more artsy and fun and all that stuff. I feel like I have a little bit of distractions. My puppies are talking to me. I'm sure you'll hear a little pupper or two in this, and so I'm gonna lose my train of thought a lot in this voiceover, and I apologize. One thing that was really, really important to me in creating this piece was making sure the man holding the lamp inside the lantern in the lantern, was that the base of it was a Bible, and that is to meditate on the verse 130 where it says, "The unfolding of your words gives light." And I wanted that to be a part of this piece to show that the Word of God gives us light. And so it's very, very hard to see in the final image, but it is there. It's just hard to see because it's so tiny. I'm sure if you look hard enough you can tell what it is, but it's like a subtle hint of what's there. There's another part of the devotional that my pastor went through, and it's verse 151 from the same psalm. It is, yet you are near, Lord, and all your commands are true. And the note I have from the little devotional was, when we study the Word of God, we invite the presence of God to invade our lives. And so I love that, because studying it, creating from it, it just invites God to be near to us. And that's all I want to do, is be near to God. And if I can do that by creating and studying the Word, I think that's awesome. If you guys want like a rough estimate on how long it took me to do the inside, not the outside lantern took way too long, and I definitely wasn't keeping track of it. The inside of the lantern, though, I did kind of keep track of, because I started it after I started watching Jaws. And so if you know how long that movie is, it took me up until the beach scene, you know, where they're opening the beaches back up and the two kids scare the beachgoers and fake them out like there's a shark in the water and all that good stuff. And so that's about how long it took me to complete the inside of the lantern. Once I get into shading and detail, I usually go pretty quickly with it. I have found my own little methods to make it go a little bit faster for me. Sometimes it takes me longer if I'm really struggling with it, but usually the part that takes me the longest is sketching it out, outlining, and doing all that other stuff. The shading usually goes by super quick for me, and so it took me just over an hour-ish, probably more than that, but you know, it took me a good chunk of Jaws to do the inside of this guy. With no breaks, I just continually worked on it because I was super inspired. My favorite part was creating the shading around the legs and make it feel like you're in a forest or in somewhere. And so I used a chalk pencil type thing to do an initial, you know, darkening of things, and then I knew I wanted to have the lantern be the main source of light in the lantern. That's so weird to say, but I think you get what I mean. And so from there, I used the light airbrush, the soft airbrush, to create shading around the lantern and then to have that expand out. And then I wanted to add more depth, and so I went back in with the other pencil, the like sketching chalk thing, to add some more depth around the edges. And that's how I got it to feel more like a scene in a lantern than just a picture in a lantern. An important thing to do for this drawing was to finish it off with some highlights on the glass to help it feel more like shiny glass. I started it with the black lines on there, and it looked fine when it was just black and white with nothing in there, but as you can see, it really needed those highlights in the end. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's Reflect and Create. I hope it inspired you, and I hope it helps you create something beautiful as well. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!